It's time to spill the tea on Vegas tea time.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Jeff
And Christina.
with another episode of Vegas Tea Time. It is episode 10. It is episode 10.
How do we get? I know I said last week, but it just goes so fast.
It does. And can you imagine if we put another zero on that? Can we make it to 100 episodes? That would be a feat for
As
us.
long as there's news in Vegas, I'm pretty sure that we could get to 100.
Well, if we
plus.
live that long, it would be 1,000 episodes probably.
That's true. Yeah.
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 Well, we do have a lot to talk about this week. There is a lot that happened, unfortunately, but there is some good news, especially for foodies. And we know we got a lot of foodies out there. And the Venetian just opened up their VIA food hall.
Via.
Yeah. And Emma and Christina are going to tell you about what is at the VIA food hall. Christina, take it away.
Take it away. You gonna help me? So they have. It's kind of like Proper Eats.
Okay.
So these restaurants,
Uh-huh.
they're not sit-down restaurants.
Right.
It's all takeaway food. It's all takeaway food. So kind of like the fast food of somewhat kind of high end, but not all the way.
Well, we know that there's no such thing now as a food court. There's a food
No,
hall.
there's
So now
what
you
happened? I don't know, but
Well,
food
what
hall sounds more bougie.
well, what happened what
What
happened
happened was
when you get a hall instead of a food court means you can charge higher prices for said more upscale restaurants. So what restaurants are there?
okay. So I have a list.
Okay. How many are there?
7. So there's 7 restaurants.
So this, just to remind the folks, this is the same area where the food court
right,
was.
right.
So it's in the same area that is just off from the
It's-
front desk.
It's on the Grand Colonnade at the
Yes.
Venetian.
Yep.
The whole area there.
So it's in between, say, the front desk. You come around, you turn the corner, and you would probably see what's the Cheesecake Factory sister? What Grand Lux Cafe?
Oh, Grand Lux. Oh, they're so good.
So on the way to Grand Lux, on the right hand side is going to be this new place,
right.
which is where the food court was, but now it's the Via food hall. So which
Via
restaurants are there?
Via Arriba. Oh, sorry. So they've got Ivan Ramen,
Okay.
Turkey and the Wolf, BS Taqueria, Scars Pizza, the Via,
Okay.
Close Company, Howlin' Ray's,
Mhm.
and I know everybody's going to just rip me to shreds on not pronouncing
Oh
this.
yeah, I'm sure they're just
Yeah,
going
and
to
I'm
be in
really,
the-
I'm good at pronouncing things, but this one,
Nobody cares.
I know, it's Al Antica
Al Antico
what did I say?
Ca.
Oh, Al Antico Veneo is
Okay.
kind of the way I remember it.
So so what I heard from the 7 restaurants is there's a pizza place.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Jeff cares zero about anything except pizza.
No, that's not true.
No, it's not true. But I'm just teasing you and your
Yeah,
pizza.
all I heard was a pizza place.
Mhm.
So, okay, that's interesting. So, Venetian has a new food hall, and we'll have to get over there and try it. Maybe I'll have to try said pizza.
You will try said pizza. I know
do.
that.
You know what? At one time I do. People always talk about ramen, and who doesn't love some noodles?
I
And
love ramen. I really do. But I literally, I just unfortunately can't eat all that.
Yep.
Sodium, you guys. That's my biggest problem is I have to stay away from sodium.
Yep.
So Asian, anything noodle, anything like that. I love it, but I can't eat it.
Yeah. So, the Venetian has this new food hall that we'll have to get over to, and of course, when people stay at the Venetian, you know what's right behind there. It's really close to that big old ball
The big ball, the big bright ball.
that's right behind the Venetian, the
yeah,
sphere.
Yeah.
So the sphere, as we reported about before, is going to have the reimagined, the AI version of The Wizard of Oz.
I know. It looks so cool.
It does look really cool.
And
Yes.
they have, I think you saw, they have the legs and the
Oh, that's
feet
right.
of the Wicked Witch. So when I first saw it, I thought it, I've seen it on video. Sorry, guys. I've seen it on video, haven't been there, but I just assumed it was marketing, AI. Cool,
Mhm.
And then I kept seeing everybody's video. And then all of a sudden I started seeing videos of just random people standing there and kind of posing with it. And I thought, that is the best marketing ploy ever. I mean, not to get people to see it, but it looks really cool. And I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe Lydia
Mm,
was the first one to post it. And
good
so
on Lydia.
good on Lydia. I know I love Lydia. She's always like, "Oh, it's there? Okay, boom. I'm on it." Gotta love her. But yeah, it's there. So I'd like to see that, but I really
It
want to see it, but it's kind of
it
expensive.
is expensive, but so tickets are on sale now for
Yes.
the first show, August 28th. They
Yes.
range from about $114 to about $350,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
This is, I mean, except for seeing like a band there,
Right.
this would be something, even though I'm not the biggest Wizard of Oz fan, but I still like it. And I think
Yeah.
what I've seen, how they've kind of expanded the sides and everything. I know
So much
AI
work
gets
on it.
a lot of crap and everything, but
Mhm.
this looked pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, they worked on it for a very long time, and I
It was
remembered.
rumored for so long too.
Right, and I had remember kind of talking about it before, and I'm sure nobody, really cares because it wasn't going at that time. But the amount of time and thought that has gone into this to make sure that there's no pixelation, there is nothing. It's
Well,
totally clear.
right, and they want to be respectful to the original
Right.
without, just keeping that original feel to it, but
Mhm.
just making it
Bigger.
2025.
Yeah,
A
just
bigger,
bigger.
yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of the whole movie because I love the movie, and I'm like, I can't even imagine the craziness of, like, the flying monkeys coming over you,
Well, that
and
shot of they had of the wizard of
yes,
like him, and the blowing the smoke
yes,
and
and
that was
all
really
of
cool.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
So
but
yeah, if you want to go see Wizard of Oz,
tickets are on sale.
tickets are on sale now. And speaking of shows, there is a rumor that ABBA may be coming to
Ah!
Vegas.
I
So,
am so excited.
well, if it happens, so what we're talking about is ABBA, our disco fans out there. You admit it. You like some ABBA.
Everybody, even if they say, there's just a little bit maybe you
You know
like.
the songs, Dancing Queen,
Take a
Take a
chance
Chance
on
on Me,
me,
Voulez-Vous, all those.
Fernando. We could just sit here all night.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar, kind of like the Sphere in London, they've had for a few years now called Voyage,
Voyage.
and it are the holograms of ABBA on
Well, they did, yeah,
stage.
they did the whole thing dancing because that's what they do is when they put those suits on, and so it's them, but like you said, everybody has wanted them to go back on tour. So this is kind of like having them back on tour.
I mean, the shots that we've seen from London over the last few
Are
years,
amazing.
yeah, it really looks like them,
It
and the
does.
technology is there. And now there is a rumor that
Mhm.
next year Resorts World is going to have the show, and they may actually have a special theater. So that space that's south of Resorts World, they are actually maybe going to be making their own theater out of that,
Well,
which makes sense.
I have a quote.
Okay.
This is not me talking, this is pure quote
Okay.
from Review Journal. So, Review Journals mentioned the ABBA, voyage possibly coming here in March of maybe next year
Mm-hmm.
or so. That could be, but they mentioned it last year in March when we started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, quote, "We are confidently informed by knowledgeable sources that this show coming to Resorts World, Las Vegas, possibly to be announced as early as this summer." So announced that it's, going
Right.
to do it. Yeah.
Right.
The production is to take over a custom built theater in the old Enchant parcel on the south side of the hotel. It's also, which is really cool, it's also designed by Industrial Light and Magic.
ILM, the people behind Star
Star
Wars and all
Wars and
that.
everything else in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, so that may be something I admit it. I've been a DJ for years, as people might know by now, and I like me some ABBA. I'm man enough to admit it. I don't care.
We've said it before. Our music collection is all over the place,
So
and ABBA's a big one. I
so
like
yeah,
them.
when we hear about that, we'll let you guys know as well. And again, if you guys don't know, we have a monthly newscast as well. Every month we give you everything that's happening here in Vegas. Speaking of musical acts, this weekend, if you are here in town and you're watching, good old Weird Al's going to be, speaking of which, at the Venetian.
Eat it.
And
Just eat it.
Ooh. And then Joan Jett will be at the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay
this weekend.
this
Friday
weekend.
and Saturday.
But unfortunately, another residency performer, Rod Stewart,
Oh, yes. So
has canceled some shows.
he's canceled quite a few shows. So, I mean, God, he's 80 years old already.
I know.
And he got the flu. So, he just had to cancel. I mean, anybody wouldn't be able to perform with the flu. And, he's 80. And I don't want to say anything about his age, but he's more brittle, more fragile. So, when those tickets go back on sale, or if they don't, but if he he's able to perform, those will all be fine. You can still show your tickets, they'll be accepted.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But God, I hope he's okay, because the flu these days isn't like the flu used to be,
Yeah. The when you're also 80 years old, that kind of puts a damper on. I mean, it's amazing that he's still performing. I mean, look at Wayne Newton.
I know.
I mean, we saw Wayne Newton. I'd die for you.
Wayne Newton. Yeah.
I guess we know who sent the flowers.
If anybody, I know I always say it, but if you guys are like into the Vegas history and you do appreciate, Wayne, and he even talks about when he was on the set of Vegas Vacation and how much fun he had. That show is not him just singing. So if you see advertisements for the Wayne Newton show or
At Flamingo.
it's not like a show. This is just him going through his entire history,
Right.
Of his career.
And his wife helps him out. I mean, come on. The guy's
It's really cool.
he's been performing since he's a teenager. And so, I mean, what do you expect? His voice isn't what it used to be. But what's really cool about his show now is he goes through the whole history and he sings with his own self.
Yeah, because of
which
the
kind of helps
videos.
him.
They pulled all the old videos.
And then the band plays like with the band that's on the
Yeah,
video.
it's just
so it's
so
all synced.
cool.
Yeah, so it's all synced up. So
And the tickets aren't that much, and the theater is so small.
yeah, it's a really small
So
theater.
small that you don't even have to worry about, oh, I hope I get good seats. We were fortunate enough to,
Yep.
get to, I don't like talking about it without giving credit to them. Some subscribers of ours gave us some tickets because they couldn't use them. They weren't coming out that weekend, and they gave us their tickets. And we're like, oh, okay, open the door. They opened the door to come in. We're like, oh, wow, we could just have dinner in here. It's really small. So I just say, please, if you really do like him or just that whole era of all that going on, I just say go see it before he can't do it anymore.
Right.
I almost want to go see it again.
A classic performer in one of the classic oldest. Is it the old?
Showrooms.
Is it the oldest hotel now? Flamingo?
Yeah, I mean, that
50
was well, on the Strip.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that was the
That's
was
still
the big
left because we know
1946.
what's that?
It opened in 1946 on my birthday.
Right.
So I always remember that.
So I think that's the oldest one now. There was another older one. See where I'm going to go here?
Yeah.
The Tropicana,
Mm-hmm.
which is now no more, as we all know, and we've reported on. And now it's going to be supposedly the A's new ballpark, and we've told you about that several times. And so now they are going to do a groundbreaking ceremony.
Mhm.
The old put the shovel in the dirt, and
June 23rd
June 23rd,
at
I
8
believe.
a.m.
June 23rd at 8 a.m. And so all the politicians and all that are going to be there. We'll try to keep this on the up and up because I still know a lot of people at the Tropicana
I know.
that still work within
I know.
now the Bally's Corporation.
Yeah, but they still are in the know.
Yep. So yeah, what now the A's, they've got the $350 million that we as taxpayers agreed on Memorial Day 2 years ago.
We didn't agree to
Yeah.
it.
And then apparently from U.S. Bank, Goldman Sachs, all that, you had $300 million more.
Mhm.
And so that just leaves a mere $1.1 billion to
That
come up with.
that they're still looking for.
Yes. So
It's like
they've,
pan for gold,
yeah.
pretty
So the
much, you
A's
know?
ownership has been looking at minority investors to come on board.
Mhm.
Uh, but they are starting the footings in the Tropicana site while they get the last remaining parts of the Tropicana gone, which I can't even believe that.
I know.
But you know, I if I want to be truthful, when I was there, yes, the building had seen better
Oh,
days.
it needed a big rehaul.
Yeah, and for years while I was there, everybody said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a whole new front area. So it's gonna be like this whole shopping thing.
It looked cool.
It'll be yeah. I saw the renderings
I
and
know.
everything.
I
It'll
know.
be a like corner around the Trop and Las Vegas Boulevard, and we'll put a walkway. People can walk right into the
Oh, yeah, that was
like
really
Mandalay
cool.
Bay,
Yep.
you know, where they got the shops, and they're gonna do all that, but that never happened. And
No.
so, unfortunately, it came down, as we know, as we were front row for the demolition. That was my first demolition, and first demolition in live view.
I know.
I've seen all those old videos of the Stardust going down the new frontier,
Mhm.
even the Hacienda.
Mhm.
So this was, I mean, to be part of that Vegas history, that I worked there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that makes the biggest difference.
So it was a lot of mixed feelings, and the thunder of the explosion of that demolition going off, nothing can compare or can prepare you for that demolition. I mean, when I was standing there, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I've seen these, and you just felt like this boom, 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 boom in your chest as it went down, down. You saw like you'd see on all those videos where they just do
Mhm.
floor at a time, and
Mhm.
then that silence, and then all of a sudden, you know, everything comes down. So to see that, it more about feeling that in person was incredible. But now, hopefully, the A's build a ballpark, and that will be the next chapter at the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard. So we'll keep you updated as
Well,
to what that's going to happen. But
you know what I say about this every single time they come out with something.
yep,
And I've read articles of like Sports Illustrated and sports pages. So this is not just me because I was thinking this and then I'm like, okay, well, at least I'm not the only one because it just seems like they're trying to do whatever they can to keep out in the public's eye and to stay relevant, but yet they still don't have everything they need. That's
right,
the problem.
yeah.
So, and now if they're still looking for money, how long is that going to take? You know, and I'm not being negative. This
No,
is what other
it's true.
people
They
are
have
saying.
that is the bottom line. That's the actual facts and the actual truth. There is still 1.1 billion,
Billion
probably
dollars.
plus, because
Yeah.
that's the $1.75 billion price tag that they have said it's going to cost. So with what we mentioned, 350 from us, 300 million from US Bank, Goldman Sachs,
Hmm.
and then 1.1 billion is still unaccounted for.
And
So they're working on that.
right. And then like what when you said in the beginning that, we agreed to pay for. And I'm just saying this so anybody that hasn't seen any of this, I'm just trying to make it to understand when he says kind of joking like we agreed to it. No. None of the citizens in the city, no one agreed to this verbally to the city. We
Well,
didn't we
there
didn't
was
know they were having a hearing.
on Memorial Day, they put this through, and they said the public can come down for the 1 day, and literally for about 6 hours at from like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
And people did come down there.
not very many though because not a lot of people knew that it was happening.
Yeah,
And
so
they did it on Memorial Day. So nobody was really paying attention.
yeah,
That
so
was the that was the dirty kind of part of it is that no one really knew it was
well,
happening.
when I say we,
That's what I
350,
meant.
yeah, $350 million that Clark
Tax
County has,
taxpayers.
yep, has approved. I
Mhm.
don't know why all these new ballparks, new stadiums always count on the public to help finance it when the public isn't going to get discounted tickets that live in the city,
No.
and the public isn't going to benefit. I just don't know. I don't know how a billionaire needs more money from the working folk. But
So apparently a billionaire, but when you get right down to it again with all the articles, they do all the digging and he doesn't have the money.
well,
The
that's
family doesn't have the money to
I think
give.
I think he has the money, but if he did put up the bill for it, that would almost wipe him out. Apparently, this is what's been reported.
Well, little
So
boys shouldn't play with big toys.
so we'll leave it at that. So again, groundbreaking ceremony. The shovels in the ground, June 23rd at 8 a.m. I thought about reaching out, but I'm going to let the politicians and all of them do that. I don't think unless unless they invite me, but it's just a
I know.
ceremonial thing.
Right.
It would be nice to be on the ground
Mhm.
inside,
Mhm.
but we'll see. So
You never know.
yeah, you never know. And the thing that we have to address, which is
We've been trying not to.
which is I'm sure that you have heard, there was a pew pew. I don't even want to say those words
Nope.
because all the social media,
I don't know
like
who wouldn't
YouTube.
know about it by now.
Well, yeah, I know. Like even on YouTube, you can't say certain words because that you just can't.
Right.
And so, yeah, there was a isolated
Incident. Pew pew.
incident.
Pew pew
I almost said
incident.
it
I know
because
you're like, I'm like, no, a pew pew incident.
yes, and it is not a laughing matter, but we're
No.
trying to. Um, what's the way I want to say it? This was about a YouTuber.
Well, first off, what we want to say is because everybody's saying, "Oh, I don't want to go to Vegas now," and blah blah. This was an isolated incident.
It was very isolated.
Completely isolated
was-
incident.
So this was Sin City Manny. If you guys know, he was the one that wore all the kind of clown makeup and everything. I had met him a couple of times while I was doing live streams.
I talked to Julie a couple times.
Yeah, it seemed like a nice enough guy. And I know people tuned in because it was like he wore the crazy makeup, so it was kind of
It was like a
entertaining.
comedy. Yeah,
And
exactly.
like Mark, our really good friend, the other me, he's been really reporting on a lot of this. So if you want to go check out
Yeah.
all the latest updates, definitely go check out Mark, the other me.
He's reporting, and even though he's at work during the day, his wife,
Mhm.
Rosie, she's going to the courthouse.
Yeah,
And so she's getting like legitimate information
Right.
to let everybody know. So nothing is somebody said this or that. Nope. Everything is right from the courthouse.
yeah, and so everybody, they liked, they understood he was a little wacky, kind of out there, but
But it's
that
like
was his shtick.
yeah.
Even Mark said, like, oh, this guy, he's kind of doing something different,
Right.
and it's, although it's probably not in the scope of the rest of us what we would do,
Right.
but
it
everybody's
was
got to have a
entertain-
niche, right?
And it was entertaining. I mean, you go down to Fremont Street and people are dressed up and they've got whatever. So Manny had his channel about it, you know.
Yep. So,
No different.
it was, how do I say? It was an incredibly unfortunate incident. I don't know what else to say, but
Well, it's
Finney is the person that perished along with his wife.
Finney
They're-
and Bubbles,
Yeah.
they passed away because of it, and it was an ongoing situation between Manny and Finney, and we're not going to get into any details because if anybody wants to know, again, they can look it up. They can go watch Mark, whatever. We have no sides, no nothing. I'm not taking anything because a lot was going on. Let's just say a lot was going on, and if you did not watch one or the other's channel, you wouldn't really understand it. So
And
it just led up
I-
to this, unfortunately.
And I will tell from my perspective of somebody that's literally done live streams almost every weekend for the last 4 years that, even when we've had random incidents like homeless guy kind of, doing some random stuff, it's never, I mean, blind ignorance maybe, but I've never felt unsafe,
No, no.
And again, this was an isolated incident, and I even thought like, there is a lot of stuff going on in the world right now too, and so I thought, well, I'm not afraid of going out on a live stream, um, for this upcoming weekend,
Right.
but part of it is that people when they get drunk, and since this has been literally an international event,
It is.
it's international news, and so I don't want some you know random person that's maybe really drunk and go like, oh, there's one of them live streamers,
And that's the other problem
that
is
thinks that they can screw with somebody, and plus also I thought that out of respect for the situation, I'll just say, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to sit this one out. So if you are watching this on a Friday, and we usually do the live streams on Saturday nights, of course, from Fremont or the Strip, I'm not going to be out. I'm just gonna take this weekend off. I kind of need it anyway because I'm
yeah.
always out there doing my
And then
20,000 steps.
and then also kind of like, for Finny and Bubbles, just kind of sit out on the weekend, and I know there's been other streamers that are like just out of respect, because that did happen to them, uh on unfortunately on a live stream. Just the whole situation is absolutely devastating, and I have so many words that I can't even think of to describe how awful it
It's
was.
so tragic because not only did two people lose their lives, but think of the families and extended family, the kids
The
on both sides.
Yeah.
The kids now have to live with this.
Mhm.
They'll find out about it, even if they're really young. They're going to find out it eventually,
Mhm.
and it's really just an unfortunate, really bad thing that happened.
And the sad part too, that since you said, like, talked about it being international, and then even here in this country, a lot of people don't watch YouTube like other people do.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like, YouTube has become people's, like, cable TV, not just YouTube
Absolutely.
streaming, but, like, everything else that's on there,
Yeah, because you have YouTube TV, that's their own streaming service.
Exactly.
And so
And
people
so
just, watch YouTube all the
And so
time, like we do.
people yeah, and so people that don't have that kind of YouTube mindset, which again isn't just about streamers, they just hear that and they think, "Oh, what a bunch of losers. Why do adults do that?" There's been such like, just so much negativity towards it that it's like they don't understand.
Yeah.
Whereas the other people are like, no, there's so much more to YouTube. But now, us here in Vegas, they're looking at us like, why would you even do that? And
Well,
it's like, well, this never happened
well,
before.
because people, if they're not invested in, say, some of the major attractions
Right,
like Disney,
right,
Disneyland, Disney World,
right,
where they have live streamers all the time.
right,
Vegas has live streamers. There's a few like Ken and Action Kid in New York, and New York has a few other live streamers as well. Like the major cities,
right,
you
right.
don't really typically, like even JJ's from San Diego, and
Yeah,
he does a live stream from San Diego once in a blue moon.
right.
Like when I went there, I did a live stream,
Right. And it
and
was in San Diego. You
yeah,
would think, oh, that'll be great.
yeah, but it's a
It's a
to
very
everybody out,
niche.
yeah, everybody outside of those major cities, and it just doesn't register
I
with
was gonna say, it
people.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so if when people hear about this news, it's like they're dumbfounded, like how and why? What I don't even understand this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so
But the Vegas vloggers are getting kind of a bad rap. Like everybody here is
they'll get a bad rap, but yet they watch all of us.
right. And then you have the other people that are just doing videos for clicks and
Right.
for views and to help their channel, and they're not even getting information correct. They're
And
totally not getting
and see
information
that's
correct.
and that's the you know except for Mark, because he's known both parties. He's known very much what's going on, so he has really covered it from the get-go.
He's born and raised
He
here.
set up a GoFundMe, I believe, for Finney and Bubbles, their
No,
family.
their brother, Bubbles' brother did, and then Mark's donating
The
some
live
of the
streamers,
yeah
like super chats or
he
something.
donated once it comes in for them.
Yeah.
So yes,
So I didn't want to, and like you said, there's people out there just, they're going to report on for clicks. Now, yes, like, do we report on news? 100%.
yeah, but it's not like
but
that.
I am not going to. That's why we wanted to leave it till this Vegas Tea Time episode, so that we could kind of talk about it a little bit more casually, and not
Mhm.
just reporting the news and
Yeah.
then like Vegas is in trouble, and it's I didn't want to make that video, and because there's I'm just not
It's
like
not
that.
like that's not like us to do that.
Yeah.
That would be like, "Oh, let's get on this right now. Can you imagine how many clicks and views we're getting?" No, 2 people lost their lives, you
Two
know?
families were, and their extended families, like I said, are completely just ruined
Yeah. And
now.
yeah, exactly.
And
I mean, even on Manny's side, he's got his
well, I'm not going to feel sorry for
No,
him,
no,
but I'm
no, the
saying
kids. I'm
yes,
saying
that's what
the
I'm saying. Their
yeah,
extended family
yeah.
is ruined by this, this just horrible situation, and something that was caught on everybody's cameras that were just, of course, it's in front of the Bellagio, so everybody's got their phones out,
Mhm.
taking video of the Bellagio fountains. So there's evidence everywhere.
Yeah.
And so
That's the thing. And
we're going to leave it at that.
but
And
I will say though, if you guys want to know what's going on anything, you want the truth, again, Mark is not doing this for clicks and views. 2 of his friends were murdered, and he feels like obligated to do it because until everything's done, he will cover it, and you will get the truth from
he's
him.
donating all the money
Yeah. Yeah.
to this GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So go check out Mark the Other Me if you don't know him. He's been on our live streams and he's talked about us.
We
Because
talk about him.
yeah, because primarily at the same time, both of our channels kind of started up at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's been doing it before us, but then it was other stuff
yeah,
that he
yeah,
was doing. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you don't know who we're talking about, we'll just put his link or something in the info
yep, in the description.
in the description. We'll
Yeah.
put the link in the description.
That's like YouTube vernacular.
I know.
So everybody,
know.
that's your Vegas tea time. Don't want to end it off on a bad note, but we definitely wanted to let you know that we definitely knew about it, and since we, again, I do live streams, and definitely had to address the situation that happened, and a lot of people reached out to me, and fellow vloggers and everybody else, and people that just knew of us having a YouTube channel, and like, are you okay? Because they like, don't you do live streams?
Well, especially when it first hit, it just said Vegas vloggers.
It's just tragic. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Vegas Tea Time, episode 10. And if you guys enjoyed this video, at least, well, give us a thumbs up if you liked
Thumbs up,
it for the Vegas Tea Time episodes.
Yes.
In general. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Both those actions are free. It really does help us out. And turn on those bell notifications, and that'll alert you to all of these new videos. Our movie Mondays. I swear to God, I will get the new series up. I've got the video almost done.
Well,
And
it's not like you're busy selling houses or anything.
Yeah,
And showing houses and people coming in from out of town wanting to
now we've
look
got
at
an
houses.
offer on the listing.
Yeah.
And so Movie Mondays, that's taking you around neighborhoods. Walk with Jeffs, our staycations, and Vegas Tea Time. So much more coming as we build out the J&K network. Again, if you like it, just make sure and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And like Christina said, turn on those bell
Bell
notifications,
notifications,
and that will alert you to all these new videos. And as always, as we like to say here on J&K Stay in Vegas, stay safe
and stay silly.
Bye-bye, everybody.